Hey, everybody, welcome to our broadcast today. Thank you for stopping back by. Business, Money, and Christianity. We're a financial podcast from a faith perspective. I want to thank you for joining us. Our goal here is just to help people make life work better. Obviously, Christianity is a foremost part of what we do. The principles that we talk about are biblically based, even though we don't always use scripture. One of the things I want to talk about today is the day that we're living in. You know, there's a lot of things changing, especially with AI. A lot of jobs are being displaced, and the whole environment is changing. How does that affect you? Have you thought about it? You know, for a long time in the business world, there was two ways of increasing your revenue. And that's either or increasing your net income is actually a more accurate way to say it. One is to increase your gross sales or eliminate expenses. So you could either work from the top or you can work from the bottom. Either way, it worked fine. But now we need to start considering some other components. Will AI displace your work, make it obsolete, change it in a way where you're going to have to revamp some things in order to stay relevant? One of the things that we do here that I'm a part of is that we have a group home for young women. They're placed with us by the state, and we have to have 24-hour supervision. It's a 1-to-3 ratio. So we can have up to 6 girls in there at a time. So we either have to have 1 or 2 staff, but probably AI is not going to affect it too much because you have to have supervision. You have to have live human beings there to keep them from hurting themselves. So probably in looking forward, there's not too much that we have to really be concerned about it. But what if what if I was a lawyer? I'm not. But what if I was a lawyer? My goodness, the other day, we needed a contract to be written up in a business endeavor that we were doing. And I went to Grok and AI, and I explained what I needed in it. Within seconds, like a second or 2 seconds, I had all the pertinent information that I needed. So if I was an attorney right now, I would be looking at, I don't think it will do away with the need of attorney, because going into a courtroom, especially in criminal law, you're going to need a person to do that. Anything where there's a jury, there's going to be people there, so you're going to need that. But will it change? Probably the parameters of it will change somewhat. Are you on the cutting edge of it? And I think at this time that we're in, there's several things that we need to look at beyond just our current income and expense levels. Is how do I keep the income flowing? Will this shift in AI hurt me? Or we can flip to the other side. Will it present opportunities to me if I will recognize them ahead of time? In doing that, I can make the necessary adjustments so that I retain my relevancy. Now, how do we do that? Well, number one, I think we have to look in the future, and are there any dynamics of our income that are subject to technology can do it better, faster, and more cost efficient? Here in California, through the lack of wisdom of our state government, they decided that if you work at a fast food restaurant, say like McDonald's, that you should be able to make $20 an hour. The federal minimum wage law is like, I believe, under $8. So, working at a fast food place, wow. So I was in a McDonald's here several months ago. I typically don't go to McDonald's, but I walked into this McDonald's that's been in my city for like probably 20 plus years. And when I walked in, there was a couple of tables, and there was these kiosks, and there was no cashier that you go up and order at. You have to order on a kiosk. What did they do? Well, because of government and this outrageous minimum wage, they got rid of employees. There's no longer a bathroom in the restaurant. there was, like I said, a couple of tables. You could sit there and eat. But basically what you do is you go up to this kiosk, you put in your order, you pay on the kiosk, and there is an employee that's going to cook it. But I heard that some of these fast food places are now automating their making a hamburger process, and they're not even going to need employees. So if I was an owner of a franchise for McDonald's, well, okay, I'm going to have to buy this technology, and I'm going to have to do these things, because once I make the purchase, that ends it, because I don't have to pay an hourly wage for the employee. But what if I was an employee at McDonald's? Did I make or think through the process when this law went through? My opportunities for making money are going to be a lot less. So we're going to have to look at how we make money, and is the need for our services going to be needed on a future level? So we can see now there's businesses that are closing because they can't compete with Amazon. I'm one of those people that buy from Amazon. I don't like going to stores anyway, but it's far easier to go on their app, have it shipped, get it the next day or whatnot. Unless I just need something today, then I'll go into whatever store supplies that. But you can get almost anything on Amazon now. So there's a futuristic element of how far will this go? We don't know. But this is where I've always been an advocate on assets that cash flow. I like real estate. I'm not telling other people to get into real estate, but everybody needs a place to live. And as properties become more scarce, I know here they're trying to move people into apartments and get them out of home ownership. But people will opt for a home environment versus an apartment environment many times. And so if I own property, then I can keep the cash flow coming through. What about hard assets? Here recently, like through January of this year and at the end of last year, we saw silver and gold go up astronomically. Well, I've been a buyer of silver primarily. I've had some gold, but I could see that down the road, this was going to be an asset that increased in price. And silver went up last year like 140%. It was just astronomical. And in purchasing it, it's a token of barter. So if something happens and they're trying to get our US currency into crypto, so they have digital currency so that they can tax everything, how is this going to affect me? And a lot of people just deal with today, what we're facing today. And as long as I can manage today, I'm okay. But these things are moving very fast, and we need to look at all elements of our life. Our ability to make money, our skill sets in what we do, can they be replaced? Even like this podcast, I don't make money off this. I just do it to try to help people and get people to think about what they're going through. But will podcasts go away? I mean, maybe not for somebody like me that just wants to help people, but people that are in the business of trying to monetize their podcast. You can go on, any AI and ask them a question, ask the AI a question about anything in life, and it will give you a pretty sophisticated answer, probably greater than any human being can give. So within our current construct of our life, how much is going to be affected by this digital technology that continues to increase? What is it going to do to my expenses? What is it going to do to my income? And so we need to have some smart planning. One thing is, if you own a home, or own it by I mean that you may still be making a mortgage payment on it, you might want to really focus on getting it paid off so that you have a house, so that you have a home, and things don't happen with that. That could be a smart element. You might want to pick up some rental property if it's affordable. It makes sense. You have to have a wise, prudence upon purchasing to make it work out in the end. But can you do that? What about an online business? Well, since online is going, I know there's a word for it, and I can't think of the word, but where people will contract and sell something and they'll set up a website. And if you know technology and can work it, people will buy from you, but it ships from someplace else, the manufacturer of it, and you make, a spread off of the top of it. But I would highly encourage you. The topic of this podcast is, I would highly encourage you to think through your life. Look at your income. How long can it last? Look at your expenses. Are there things that you need to get rid of? Look at how technology is going to affect you. And if currency, maybe you have a job that you get paid under the table a lot. Well, what happens is, if your primary currency goes to a digital currency where everything is tracked, now you can't make money under the table, or that paper currency is no longer available. I would systematically go through my life and look at, what am I subject to with what is going on around me, and how long of a trajectory do I have to maintain this? Do I need to change some things? You take the element now, everybody has like where you can place your order, you can place your appointment, you can do all that technology. Are you old school? I like old school. But are you old school where you got to come in and talk to? Well, maybe you're going to have to get an app or something like that. But I would take serious where we're at, because things are changing so fast. And if it changes beyond where you're at, you're not going to be able to catch up. And so I would take serious where you are, look at every element of what you're going through, what you're dealing with, and plan accordingly and make the adjustments that you need to make. So thank you again for stopping by. Like, subscribe, make a comment, ask a question. We appreciate you coming by, and I hope I've helped stir your thinking up to look down the road and see what you need to do. We'll talk to you next week.